Music bed. Music bed. Music bed. Music bed.
It's just different. Different. It's just different. Different. As I look in your eyes, every night when I look into your eyes, it's just different.
It is 1 o'clock. It is Monday. It is time for the Monday message. So excited to be chatting with everybody. We have so many things coming up. Next week, Andy's got a massive tour going to 4 cities across the country. The Kansas City meeting is already got almost 100 people registered for it. And it's a week away. I know we've got a group going there. I know several of you guys got a group going there. Let's look at that schedule. Let's pack those meetings out. It's all about creating momentum this time of year. It's all about creating belief. It's all about creating fire this time of year. What I'm going to share with you today has everything to do with making sure that 2023 is the best year in the history of your family. I'm going to share some stuff that I'm telling you. This is psychologically how we work. And if you just go with me on it, I'm telling you, me and you both will have a massive 2023. By the way, the whole hierarchy, we killed it in November. We were the number 3 hierarchy in all of the alliance, and we just missed number 2 by a little bit. So let's go out and let's kill it in December. Let's make some moves and let's get our team to the number 1 team in all of the alliance in 2023. I know we can do it. I know we can do it. But let's get into our leaderboards, and then I got some stuff I want to share with you. Let's look at all producers over 1,000 for the week that was. We'll start with Adam and Cindy Burge, Nicole Galvin, Calderon Green, Anna Arias, Mallory Barnes, Diana Castile, Jeremico Edwards, Chrissy Arn, Alicia Woodham, Thomas Payne, Sabrina Floyd, Dave Fleming, Michaela Jenkins, Brandy Mitchell, Devon Fitz, Kara Grant, David Townsend. I snuck in some apps last week. Jessica Manthai, Sean Cuff, $5,007.24. I was just talking with Mark Aceta about Sean Cuff, and he says Sean Cuff is one of those guys that can make a massive move in 2023. So, Sean, I'm going to do everything I can to help you, brother. All right, let's go. Top 5 for the week that was. There it is. All right, top 5 for the week that was. Serena Taylor, $6,000. Mike Guerra, $6,303 over 3 apps. Somehow, while he was in Mexico last week for Rachel's wedding, snuck some apps in before, snuck some apps in after. I don't know exactly how we got them in, but I'm telling you, that's what winners do. You got to go somewhere, you go somewhere. You sneak some work in before, you sneak some work in as soon as you get back. I mean, that's how winners handle things like that. Mark Hutchison, $7,165.53 or 56 cents. Here's what I like. I love seeing new names at the top of the leaderboard. Look at this. Joanna Castillo, $11,837.04. And look at number 1. That's massive, Jennifer. Jennifer Midgley, 14 applications, $19,534.80 for the week that was. Way to go, Jennifer. That is awesome. That's dominant. And that's a new person. You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm getting beat by a new person, I'm going, they ain't got anything I don't got. They don't got anything I don't got. I mean, I'm looking at the hierarchy and I'm looking at, we came in number 3, missed number 2 by a little bit. And, number 1's a little bit ahead of us, a good bit ahead of us, but I'm going, they ain't got anything I don't got. Well, we can beat them. That's exactly how you want to look at leaderboards. Don't hide from the truth of the numbers. Sometimes we do that when we've underperformed, we'll hide from the truth of the numbers. The numbers are the truth. I mean, the numbers are the numbers. Way to go, Jennifer Midgley. Dominant. 14 applications, over 19,000 last week alone. Let's look at these paychecks. Got some familiar names on the leaderboard here, paycheck-wise. Got Jeremico Edwards, $5,507.77. Antoine Johnson continuing to stack up cash, $6,431.76. And I can tell you this, he just put in a massive lead order. He gets it. You invest in leads, you're buying future cash flow. It's that simple. If you don't like where your cash flow is, invest in more leads. It's buying future cash flow. That's what Antoine Johnson has done. That's why he has become so dominant. He's just investing. He's out investing others in leads. Killing it, man. I'm so proud of you. Look at Patzer with a big check, $6,438.83. Rachel Midtoom, which we're going to need to change her name now that she's married, $8,245.62. And we saw those beautiful pictures of the wedding, Rachel. That it's so excited for y'all's life beginning. And I'm telling you, if I'm on the team, I'm watching out for Rachel in 2023. He's got all the wedding planning behind her. She is about to take over. I'm telling you, watch out for the green-eyed assassin in 2023. Heck, watch out for her 2022. She's already been dominant as it is, and just going to get more dominant. Number one paycheck last week. Mark Hutchison deposited $12,224.38 last week alone. Way to go, Hutch. Month to date issue paid as we're moving into December. This is through last week. You can see the numbers, how they're shaking out. Mike Guerra, Sean Cuff, Diana Castile, Tom Payne, Adam and Cindy Burrs, Jeremico Edwards in the 5 spot, just ahead of him. Hutch, just a good bit ahead of Hutch. Now we got Jennifer Midgley, another jump to Patzer, and then another jump to Antoine Johnson. Way to go, Antoine. Keep on killing it, brother. That is awesome. Running a little slow here today, so don't worry. We're going to get the next leaderboard up. Huh? Oh, that's year to date. I'm sorry. It looked the same to me. My bad. Year to date, you can see how it's shaking out. We got Mike Guerra, Nick Greco, Brandon and Ashley Beal, Antoine Johnson passing people. I'm telling you, man, that's awesome, Antoine. Patzer coming in 6th spot. I'm sitting in the 5 spot. Jeremico, you extended your lead there, brother. We keep going back and forth. I like it. You're in 4 now. Adam and Cindy Burge in the 3 spot, about 20,000, a little under 20,000 ahead of Jeremico, and then a little under 9,000 ahead of them is Rachel Midtune, and then another jump to Mr. Hutchison at the top. Guys, this is going to continue. It's going to continue to shift towards the end of the year. So, like, I'm looking. If I'm not in the top 10, I'm going. I know I belong in the top 10. I'm going to go crazy these next few weeks and put a bunch in so that I move into that top 10. All right, next leaderboard, the Freedom Leaderboard. Why do we call it the Freedom Leaderboard? Because it's all, screen went down. There we go. We're having some issues here, guys. Hang tight. All about recruiting. Look at this. Brock Butcher, Jeff Schultz, Kimberly Pavlik, Rogers and Kim Straughter, all with 1 direct fast track. Lane Hamilton, watch out for Lane Hamilton. He's coming. I'm telling you, he's coming. I was in Dallas with him last week. Sabrina and I flew down there. We spent all day Tuesday with him at his office with his crew. Sabrina stayed Wednesday, was with his agents. This dude is coming strong. I'm telling you, about to blow up on Sabrina's team. 3 direct fast tracks last week, and then leading the way, Brandon and Ashley Beal with 11 direct completed fast tracks. Look at new agent contracts, Lane Hamilton, Danny Hoyt, Adam and Cindy Burge, Keith Brown, Jackie Pollock, Asia Drew, and Kimberly Pavlik, all with 1 direct. Well, look with 2 direct. You got Sam Howard, Noel Wilson, and Brandon and Ashley Beal, all with 2 direct contracts. Continue to bring them in, guys. As talk of recession heats up, as talk of inflation heats up, people are looking for side hustles, man. I'm telling you, people are looking for those side hustles. So bring them in, mention it, show them the business. Think about the people that maybe you hadn't talked to in the past. They're probably ready now. Let's get them in. Let's get them going. Let's help them make extra money in 2023. Let's help them turn this into a profitable, big time, full-time business in 2023. All right. So we talked about leads for a little bit there, how Antoine Johnson is just investing like crazy in leads and the results are flowing. I mean, it's when you invest in leads, you are buying your future cash flow. If you want more future cash flow, invest in more leads. It's that simple. When you try and nickel and dime the business, guess what? You get nickel and dimes out. That's the way all businesses work. You look at leads like the raw material coming in, and then the premium and the commission, that's the finished product coming out, just like a factory. In a factory, they're not trying to get less raw material in. They're trying to get more raw material in, because then that's going to be more finished product and more cash coming back to the factory. Same deal with leads. More money invested in leads, more premium, more cash coming back to you. But Jeremico and Rogers and Ryan Lewis, they were lighting it up on some lead sources. I wanted Jeremico's going to share some of the results they're getting and share some of the things they're seeing. Jeremico, light us up for a little bit on leads, brother.
Yes. Hey, Steven. With Jeremico Edwards, man, Steven, I'm fired up, bro. So I got word yesterday that Rogers and Ryan had a dial session, and they both set about 7 to 10 appointments apiece. And so I was supposed to be on that dial session, but I was having some work done to the house. And so this week we're going to get back together for a dial session, but we all purchased leads from Robbie. Like, Robbie called me about 6 times last week, and he just kept going, hey, let your team know I'm giving a good deal on these leads. And like, I jumped on it first. I said, you know what? Okay, fine, Robbie, how many leads can I get for $1,000? He gave me all these leads, right? I can't I can't really say how many leads he gave me because he might get in trouble. But it's just like he just gave me a crazy amount of leads. Rogers followed right behind that, and behind that was Ryan. And we just had all these leads in Detroit, and it's just brand new, fresh A leads that we had. And Robbie gave such a good deal. Here's the thing. Our thought process could have been, well, even if it's a good deal, I don't want to spend 500. I don't want to spend 1,000. I don't want to spend 1,500. And we could have kept the money for ourselves. And heck, you could do a lot with 1,000. You could do a lot with 1,500. But we invested in ourselves. We invested in leads. And so we were all able to get good results. I'm not sure how much Rogers and Ryan wrote, but I was able to write 21,000 last week. And then this week, I'm setting myself up for a big week. I got 6 appointments today. Then we're doing another dial session. But we have clients to call. And so, again, you can easily sit on the money. It's easy to justify not buying leads because you can spend the money on whatever. But like Steven said, cash flow. So that cash flow is great. So when we get these policies issued, when Ryan and Rogers and me get these policies issued and we're cash flowing $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 from the $500 investment that we made, it's a no-brainer. I always talk to people about how much do you spend on a night out? Like people will go out on a town for one night and spend $300 to $400, and you don't get anything back from that. Now you may get refreshment, but long term you don't get anything from that. But it's just good for the moment. And so I had to train my brain to think a $500 investment or $1,000 investment, it feels good for the moment, and I'm going to get long-term benefits. Like, it feels good to invest in myself, and I'm going to get long-term benefits. So I just had to change my thinking on that. Ryan changed his thinking. Rogers changed his thinking on that. Ryan, actually talked to Ryan. Ryan's getting ready to put in another 500. Because Robbie's giving such a good deal on them. So again, guys, and you know what? Build good relationships too. We built a relationship with Robbie to where he felt comfortable enough to call us, and he's giving us the best deal ever. So when you go to these conventions, again, that's the tip for Dallas, Texas. It's like, go to these conventions, build relationships with people. People tilt things in your favor when you have good relationships. When they believe in you and you have good relationships, things tend to happen. If you sit at home, you don't go to convention, you keep your money to yourself, you can't get anything good happen to you. So, we changed our mindset, Stephen. We fired up, man. We are ready to have the biggest December of our lives. Good news is we're going into January. And so anything we write will be December, January, but it's all counting towards that New Zealand trip. So we're going to all be on that cruise, man, just feeling good about what we did at the end of 2022.
Telling you what, man, that investment mentality, that is how you win big. That is 100% how you win big. And I'm glad you brought up the point about relationships, because I was going to bring that out. People go, well, how come Robbie didn't call me? Make a friend before you need a friend. Does that make sense? Make a friend before you need a friend. That's why conventions are so important. That's why, hey, travel into corporate, come into the corporate campus and get to know people before you need people. If you only get to know people when you need people, that makes us a user, but we're not users, we're leaders. Leaders make friends before they need friends. And I'm telling you, keep that investment mentality going, brother. It's buying cash hand over fist. All you gotta do is just keep putting it back in and you get it back. Keep putting it back in, make phone calls and get it back. It's not complicated. Where people get stressed out, where people get burnt out, is they got all this time because they don't have enough leads to call. They got time to worry, time to stress, time to fret. Does it make sense? You got more leads than you can call. Life is good. Life is fun. Life is happy. So thanks for sharing what you guys are doing, man. 21,000 in a week. Put 1,000 in the leads, put 1,500 in the leads, get 21,000 back. It's not complicated. More raw material coming in the factory, more finished product coming out the factory. That's all that leads are. More raw material coming in, more finished material coming out. Now, where people get in trouble, Jeremy, go with this is the law of small numbers, right? The law of large numbers, we talk about that all the time. The law of small numbers will eat your lunch, meaning buy just $100 worth of leads. That's frightening to me. Does that make sense? If I only got $100 worth of leads, I could, but if I got $500 of leads, I know I can't lose. Does that make sense? $100 leads, that's stressful. $500 for leads, I cannot lose. So we've got now until the end of the year. Today is the 12th. We got now till the end of the year. How much can you invest? I would put everything I can back into leads. because what we do over these next 2 weeks has everything to do with 2023. So here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how to make 2023 the best year in the history of your family. There's two things that we've got to do, and I'm just going to walk you through this, and bear with me. Oops, I'm doing it backwards. There's two things we got to do to set ourselves up. Reflect back and then project forward. Reflect back and then project forward. Reflect back is where we look at 2022. There are a ton of lessons for you and I in 2022. There's a ton of gold for us in 2022. We just have to mine it. That's where reflecting back is key. We look back at 2022 and we go, what did I get accomplished? What did I get accomplished? Where did I miss? What did what did that look like? And then we project forward to what we want in 2023. Now, here's the key. How you reflect back has everything to do with how you project forward. How you reflect back has everything to do with how you project forward. How do most people reflect back? Most people reflect back and look at what I didn't get, what didn't happen for me, who didn't hug me, who didn't call me, who didn't this, what didn't happen, and I did this disappointment and that disappointment. That's how most people reflect back. Here's the problem with that. If we reflect back negative, then we're going to project forward negative. In other words, how you reflect back is going to be how you project forward. That's why most people don't make much progress in their life, because they constantly reflect back negative. And when you reflect back negative, you're going to project forward negative. Meaning if all we think about is what didn't work out for us, how we didn't get what we felt we deserved, how we didn't this, if that's all we focus on, then we have no hope for the future. So we're going to project forward that things are probably going to be just as bad for us in 2023. And you know that because we all were related to people like that. We know people like that. They're constantly reflected back at the negative, and then the future works out just like the past. Does that make sense? You can't reflect back negative and think that we're going to project forward positive. It doesn't work like that. Positive can't come from a negative on that. What we've got to do is reflect back positive so that we reflect forward, so we project forward positive. Now, Dan Sullivan, a consultant, high money consultant, like $10,000 a day seminar kind of consultant guy, he uses these terms. He calls it that you can either look at the gap or the gain. This has everything to do with how you project, how you reflect back and how you project forward. Are you looking at the gap or are you looking at the gain? If we look at the gap, we're going to reflect back negative. We're going to project forward negative. And 2023 will not work out for us much better than 2022 did, because we'll reflect back negative. We'll project negative forward if we look at the gap. The gap is lack. The gap is what we didn't get. The gap is what didn't work out. The gap is, the people that didn't reach out to me. The gap is I wasn't given this. The gap is I wasn't given that. That's the gap. The gain is how we go positive, positive. The gain is how we go positive, positive. What did we gain in 2023? And you say, well, yeah, but you don't understand. I hear you. Can we just put that in a box and put it in a closet for right now? If we just put it in a box and put it in a closet for right now and focus on the gain, I'm telling you, you can make massive, massive, massive moves in 2023. I'll give you a perfect example. Guess what didn't happen for me in 2022? My partnership deal with Integrity did not go through in 2022. So I can look at that as a gap. That will put me in the negative. I didn't get it done in 2022. Then my mind is going to go to, why did it's not this and that's not. Then my mind goes all those negative places and I'm going to project forward negative. Make sense? So the gain way to look at it is, well, while that's true, what did I gain? I gained key relationships at Integrity. I gained a closer bond with Andy Riddle and Mike and Noel because we're all working so we're all right there together, right? I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how things need to look report-wise for them. I learned what is important to Integrity, what's not important to Integrity. I learned a ton. Oh my God, I learned a ton. Does that make sense? That's looking at it through the gain. Looking at it through the gap would put me negative and project me forward negative. Make sense? I've got to look at it through the gain. So you say, well, I didn't hit my fitness goal for the year 2022, right? So that's business. So fitness. So I didn't hit it. And see, now if we start going down the gap, we're going to project negative forward. We're not going to do any better in 2022. What did I gain? I gained a better understanding of my habits and which habits were hurting me, which habits actually were causing me to not hit my goals. So I gained a lot there. I learned there. That caused me to look at this, which caused me to learn that. Does that make sense? That's the gain. That's the gain. Same thing in relationship. Same thing in any part of life. If we reflect back negative, we will project forward negative. If we reflect back positive, we will project forward positive. That's why I love what Dan Sullivan says about the gap or the gain. Are we looking at the gap or are we looking at the gain? What did we gain? That's how we project forward positive. Here's why. We get what we expect. We get what we expect. If we expect to win in 2023 because we got a lot of awesome stuff out of 2022, we will get what we expect. If we expect 2023 to be just as tough as 2022 was because all the stuff that didn't work out for me, it didn't happen for me, it wasn't fair, and we're going to get what we expect in 2023. Does that make sense? So it's important to reflect back, but how we do it, the lens through which we do it is key, And just so you know, nobody hit 100% of things they wanted to do in 2022. That would be called perfection. It doesn't exist. So everybody's in that same boat. It's not unique to your situation or to my situation. So it's a choice which lens we use to look at it. The gap lens or the gain lens. I'm using the gain lens because I want 2023 to be epic. I want 2023 to be the year that the partnership for me goes through so that I can get out of your way and get you partner next, because I want you to go partner with Integrity, because I want you, oh my God, if you knew what partnering with Integrity will do for you and what it will do for your family, I want that for you. I'm going to try my best and get out of your way in 2023. So I've got to look back at what I gained in 2022, not the gap, so that I project forward positive. Make sense? If we think back, the years that had overlapping, not great, we probably reflected back. No, we didn't probably. We did reflect back at the gap, not the gain. And so we projected forward the gap, not the gain. So when you're looking at your year and you're looking at where you want to go, make sure you're looking at it through the lens of what Dan Sullivan calls the gain. Now, here's the thing. This is why this is so important. We can't be negative and creative. Those two states cannot exist in one human mind. In the same brain, you cannot be negative and creative. For you and I to make 2023 epic, we're going to have to be creative. We can't bring the same way of handling things in 2022 to 2023, or we're going to get about the same back. Does that make sense? We've got to get creative. Get creative. So Jeremy talked about putting $1,500 in leads. Well, how could I find $1,500? What could I do? I know when I first got started, I'm not telling you to do this, but I know when I first got started, I went out and I took one of those not great loans for $3,000 because I was like, I got to put a bunch of money in leads to get up out of here. Does that make sense? I can't $50 in leads my way up out of here. I got to go big and get up on out of here. Got to get creative. Creative can only come from positive. Only a positive brain can be creative. Here's the other reason why we got to look at the game. There is a link, and you cannot separate this link between confidence and abundance. Confidence and abundance are inseparably linked, meaning the more abundant our mindset, which comes from what? The gain, the more abundant our mindset, the more confident we'll be. If we have the gap, the less confident we'll be. Why do you think Ryan Lewis, who's brand new full time, why do you think he'd put that much money into leads? Because he's confident. He's confident because Jeremico, we're coaching him to think abundant, not think scarce, not think I got to hold, like Jeremico said, can't think I got to hold on to this. Think abundant. Abundant makes you confident. So these are the reasons why this gap in the game, as Dan Sullivan calls it, is so key. So that when we reflect back, we've garnered the lessons, we project forward in a positive way. That will help us be creative. That will put us in an abundant state, which will feed our confidence. That is how you accomplish goals. That's how you accomplish crazy goals. When you are abundant, confident, creative, positive. That is, and you know that because you've been in that state before. I've been in that state before. And that's when the best stuff happens. That's when the best stuff happens. If you want your family to thrive, same deal. You've got to be positive so you can be creative. You got to think of in terms of abundance, right? Nothing's a dead, a dead couple walking, then both of them waiting for each other to go first. Because if I say I love you and she doesn't say I love you, like that, if I do those nice things and she doesn't do those, like there's like scared, abundance, confidence, creative, positive, all coming from our focus on the gain and not the gap. So, projecting forward this year, what is it you want? So, as you project forward this year, we're looking at the gain. So, we're going to project forward positive. What is it? What cash flow do you want in 2023? Don't be a scaredy cat. Don't be a scaredy cat. We say, I only made like 40,000. I only made like this. Go crazy. Go crazy. Think about the gain. Get yourself positive. There's no reason for you not to be that next breakthrough story. There's breakthrough stories every year. I mean, good Lord. Look at Adam Burge. Look at Rachel Midtune. Look at Antoine Johnson. I mean, there's no reason for you to think that I could only go crazy. What do you want your cash flow to be? It's just a simple matter, like Jeremico said, of buying that future cash flow, right? So let's figure out how to buy the cash flow that you want in 2023. Hey, Jeremico, right? I don't know if you see that right there. It says relationships, and you hit it for me. Relationships. Your life will rise or fall based on the people that you have the closest relationships with. Meaning, if the closest people to you are negative, there's not going to be much happening for you. That's why I'm always trying to upgrade to more positive people in my life. I need more positive people in my life. I need more exemplary people in my life. Does that make sense? What relationships project forward? So that maybe this year, the gain was I learned that those people were septic and that was killing me. So I learned the power of that. Now I'm going to project it forward and build strong relationships with the right people. How about this? My emotional makeup. Most people in this world are very rigid emotionally. They're very rigid emotionally. That's why the world pushes them around and they're always in a bad mood. And they're always telling you about how so-and-so hurt their feelings and so-and-so offended them. And they're very rigid emotionally. So projecting forward, I want to be emotionally flexible this year. That way I'm not a slave to my emotions. That way I put my emotions to work for me because I'm going to be more emotionally flexible this year. What level are you going to hit? When are you going to win the trip by? Look for the gains. Get you positive. Project this stuff forward. Project this stuff forward. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, there is a big danger right here. There's two questions that I was taught to ask early on of myself. What are the opportunities? What are the dangers? What are the opportunities? What are the dangers, right? Even when we first start having kids, what are the opportunities? The opportunities is to raise functional adults. The opportunity is to have an amazing fit. The opportunity, what are the dangers? The dangers are if I don't sacrifice the right stuff, then I'm going to neglect Holly. You see what I'm saying? Like, what are the opportunities? What are the dangers? Same thing with the business. I want to go partner. Okay, what are the opportunities? What are the dangers? What are the opportunities? What are the dangers? This is a big danger for you in projecting this stuff forward. It's a simple word called homeostasis. This is danger. Homeostasis. Your body works for homeostasis. Your body will work to keep things the same. We all run on emotion, on feelings, on chemicals, and our body will fight to keep it the same, even if it's destructive. Even if it's destructive. When you talk to people that have recovered from addiction and they tell you the ways they figured out to fuel those addictions, it's amazingly creative. I mean, it's amazingly creative. Why? Because the body was fighting for homeostasis. The body had become accustomed to the chemicals and the emotions of that addiction. And so the body was working against them in that state. Same deal with emotions. You ever get these people, it's like, God, they can't help but stir up stuff every dadgum. It's like they just can't help but stir it up. It's like that's their body reaching for homeostasis. Their body is addicted to cortisol. And because of they always got to have an enemy, always got to have some sort of friction thing going on. They can't just be happy. There's always got to be friction and this and that. That's their body reaching for homeostasis. That's why if you ever look at someone like that, you're like, why are they doing that? Because they don't understand homeostasis. Their body's working to keep things the same. So just know that in all the stuff you want to project forward, this is going to be a danger. So here's the question. As we move into the new year, as we move through the new year, the danger of homeostasis keeps this question on my mind and your mind, front and center, constantly front and center. What behavioral patterns am I repeating from last year? What behavioral patterns am I repeating from last year? If I'm repeating those behaviors, I'm going to repeat the outcomes. Just know that pull to repeat the behaviors, that's your body trying to keep things the same. What's the solution? The solution is this right here. The solution is all of this. Here's what it's called. It's called creating a compelling future you. In other words, if the future you is compelling enough, you will have the force to pull you out of homeostasis. And here's the cool thing. Create a whole new homeostasis. Create a whole new homeostasis at a better level of business, happiness, productivity. I mean, Jeremico, you think about like just getting to be at your house the other day, getting to be at your house, getting to see your life and how it is now. That's your new homeostasis, bro. Does that make sense? Your body's going to work to keep that the same. Now that's great. Let's go up another level. Does it make sense? It used to be here. Now it's here. And same thing with me. Same thing with all of us, right? I've not been a partner yet. So what I've got to be aware of is repeating behaviors that would keep me from being a massive partner at integrity. I've got to create a compelling enough future me to pull me out of that, Make sense? So I know that's a lot, but I'm telling you, here's the basics of it. Reflect back on the gains. What did we gain in 2023? Project forward. That's going to put us in a positive, abundant state. We project forward what we want to get done in 2023. We think about all the areas that matter. We're in a positive, abundant, confident state. We're in a creative state. We move into that. We be aware of the danger, and we keep crafting a more clear, a more compelling future us, to give us the fire, to give us the strength, to give us the power to keep pushing, keep pulling, and create a whole new normal for you in 2023. That's what Holly and I want for you. We want 2023 to be the best year in the history of your family in all the areas that matter. That's why we talk about stuff like this. Guys, we've got just a little bit of time left in 2022. We just got a little bit of time left. Everything you right now, if you breakthrough, counts for Ireland, counts for New Zealand. I'm just telling you now, let's go. Fight the urge, fight the homeostasis that's going to cause you to go, well, I'm just going to slow down and ease into Christmas. Fight that. That's your body pulling you back to what you did last year. This year, we start making that change. This year, 2023 starts now. Guys, Holly and I love you. We want you to win more than you can possibly understand. Let's get out. Let's get after it.